Hey everybody, John here with Misadventures in Wrenching. Today we're going to spend a little bit of time on Zeek, the 1998 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. It has got a multitude of issues, but if you follow along on the channel, you know that we got it at a police auction and that we got it cheap. It's a cheap Jeep that we call Zeek. Anyway, like everything else, it's got fuel issues. In this particular case, I know that the fuel pump is bad, or at least I suspect the fuel pump is bad. So, if you haven't already done so, please like, subscribe, follow, so we can continue to get out new content, and hopefully you guys enjoy this. And let's go ahead and get started on this. Besides having to push it forward into a little cleaner area, I'm going to try to get underneath it and see if I can get the tank out. And maybe I'll take that really crappy hitch off this thing, which instead of being like a 2-inch, it's only like a 1-inch, which is essentially worthless. So we're going to get started. I am doing this on the cell phone this time because the battery is dead on my one of my main cameras. So if the quality of the video is a little different, well, now you know why. Let's get on it. That sounded bad.
That is something I did not expect to find out here on this, or anywhere else for that matter.
Well, I've already got the runner down that I used on the Jimmy to pull that tank out, which is coming along pretty well. I've got to redo the throttle body on that one. That's going to be one of the next things, but since I'm getting married in a couple of weeks, I've been actually saving some money. Go figure. I actually start going through the all the parts that I stockpiled for the different projects. Got a couple of bolts there, got a bolt there. Looking at this thing again, I have always felt that a 1-inch mount on anything full size is worthless. You know, it'd be really nice. Oh, that sounds full. That doesn't. Yeah, and you can see the straps go up, and so this has to come out. All right, let me get some slippery juice to put on those bolts, and we'll get started. I think it's interesting on this tank, they actually put the time and date and everything, what shift it was on this being made. Well, I'll tell you what, boys and girls, this mechanic's not at all excited about the prospect of trying to get these bolts off, and my concern is this is a blind channel up here. And I don't know how they got the, and if those are studs, that's great, but if those are actually like bolt heads, and there's a bolt that's going up in through there, I really am not too sure about how I'm going to get to those without removing the bumper and reaching something really long down in there. So let's give it a try. It is 3/4. Oh, crap. Okay. Extension bar. All right. Let's try that. Okay. That's coming off. Did I not spray that? I thought I did. Nothing like spraying it all over my phone. And that does not. Well, I guess it is. All right, big cheater bar. Let's try to see if I can loosen the next one. Oh yeah. All right, seems to be coming. So we'll shut this off and I'll show you at the end. Well, apparently, there it is. Apparently it's a stud right there, because it's really solid. And I got the bolt out of the front one right there. So I'm going to do the other side real quick, and then I'll just have this, and then I'm going to get a floor jack and put it underneath this so we can drop it all down. Okay, I got my floor jack in place, so I should be able to get those last two off. Having the pressure there should make it easier for me to get those bolts off too. So let me get up in there and get started. I'll get with you all in a while. That is not good. That just snapped off inside the frame rail. And it doesn't want to come out. So now I'm going to have to figure out, I'm going to have to hopefully drop it enough to where I can get a angle grinder up between the rails or my reciprocating saw or something and saw that off. Oh, man. That sucks. Well, you can kind of see it better this way. But right there, the bolt stud was actually welded up into the frame, like that one. And it snapped loose, so it's free spinning. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to get a grinder, reciprocating saw, something to do that. And right next to the gas tank, I might add. So, yeah, great. Well, I've got an inverter, and I got my grinder, and in theory, this should reach up there and do it. So, let's Faces of Death this. Well, it's kind of getting it. Oh, this is going to suck. This is not good. There's really no good way to get to this from this angle. Am I even getting close? Actually, I think I am. All right, now we're going to continue on. See if I can get this done before my battery dies out. I'm about halfway through, it looks like. That thing does not want to come out. What the heck? How close are we anyway? What do you think? Think it'll break out? No, of course not. Why would it do that? Oh, I just about give up. That's even starting to tear into the other one. I don't want to do that. Okay, success. I actually had to use my ratchet and wiggle it back and forth like that on the bolt, like that, and it snapped off. So it's out of there. So I'm going to go ahead and ease this on out of here. Okay, so slowly, careful. That wasn't so careful. One U-Haul hitch out. And here is my pain in the rumpski. So before I put a new hitch up in there, matter of fact, probably before I even, because look at that one. Trying to get that out, I wound up, it's probably still good, but yeah. What I'll do is I'll grind that off, pop that other piece out, put another bolt to the same size and go ahead and fire stick that in. Now I get to see what I need to do to actually get the rest of the tank off. I see a shroud right there on one side. I don't see one on the other side. And of course, really long bolts that are muddy. But this should come out. I guess I should see about getting those out first. You know, a mechanic might be able to just pull that nut and that nut, and this whole tank might drop out, because these are just, that's an exhaust shroud, and that is just a shroud probably to keep the sway bar out of it. Now, one thing I did notice, which is never a good sign, but if you got a line on your drive shaft, and it's right next to your muffler, that means that your exhaust system is not in the right place, because it's banging and rubbing. That's going to be annoying. Of course, it is so long that I can't even use a long socket, so I'm having to use a ratchet wrench. Which I can't do one-handed, but this is how I'm going to have to work this. I already did the other side. You can see it. Barely. Probably not. Not enough light on here to focus. But we'll go ahead and knock this one out, and then I should be able to get the tank out. It is with only got about an hour of light left. Of course, like I said, still building the shop, so there's no power out here. So if I run out of light, I'm not going to work in the dark. And it'll be a couple days before I get here. Oh, look, there's a rock all the way up there. Okay. It's on the blocks for safety. And we're going to go ahead and get this out, I think. Since I have no idea where this camera's pointed, I just hope you're getting something. Okay, that's one strap, and I can't see squat. Okay, they're both hanging. So, let's drop this down. Ow, that hurt. Okay, slow, slow, slow. Oh, you got, oh, forgot the fuel. Well, that's gonna make a difference. Whew, that still smells like crap. All right, let me get these out of here. Okay, I'm out of daylight. Got a really pretty sunset off in the distance. So it's going to be a day or two, but you guys will see me in just a second. And just like that, I'm back in the shop. It is a few days later. Now, what we're going to be trying to tackle, like I said, I mean, I've got the hoses out, they're cut. I've got the new hose, the main line on the way. And I will basically see if I can just get some more fuel line and a coil to replace the drop down vent. But I got to pull that off and see about getting the lines off, you know, all that sort of crap, and then get this tank actually out of here and emptied out so I can replace the fuel pump. Then maybe we can actually get this thing to run. It still doesn't have a front drive shaft, but if it runs okay, that will be one of the next little items. And I might, while I'm here and actually have some clearance, that might be a good time to actually drop the correct purchase in for the springs, as opposed to those funky, screwed up, twist-in coil separators. Alright, so I'm using Derek's favorite tool here from Vice Grip Garage. Because there's a little clip on this that has to be crimped down. And then in theory, I should be able to push, there we go, and pull that off. So the line's off now. Now there are some of these Jeeps that actually have like a push pin up here that you push down. This ain't that. And I also have, let's see, stickers. They've definitely been off-roading in this. Ooh, I can smell that. but I should be able to figure out how to work that off as well. Do I have a flat-bladed screwdriver? Maybe just some good old-fashioned. Of course not. Maybe if I go this way with it. Why can't they just have the little pull-out tabs? Why do they have to? Oh, well, that's great. Wonderful. Oh, now I'm gonna have a hard time getting that out of there. Great. Why can't this be easy? Of course not. Why? All right. Camera off for a bit. Okay. Screwdriver next. There's not a lot of room under here, even with me sitting on top of the tank. How about now? Sweet. Okay, it's out. That doesn't mean that the wires are going to come out like they're supposed to. This ain't going well at all. Well, I'm glad that's the end that broke, because that should be on the fuel pump. They super glue this? This is like it's fused on there. There's got to be a better way. Oh man, that ain't even budging. Finally. And that's not what I wanted to see. Oh well, it will definitely still stick on, and I'll probably tape that all on there anyway. Well, that's not good. We'll just say that never happened. And if I can get some heat shrink big enough, I'll just heat shrink all that back together. Anyway, okay, that's all loose. The tank should come out. I hear an awful lot of sloshing in there. That's just rand. I do have to like plastic tanks though. A lot of people probably disagree with me, but you know, I guarantee that there's probably not going to be any rust in this thing when... Yeah. Well, come on now. Move. Moving more. You know that varnish smell? This is even worse. It's going off on one side. It's supposed to work that way. Giant mason jar lid there. Oh yeah. Oh, that's just lovely. Ooh. Well, let's just have stuff go everywhere. Well, we're going to have to empty that out into a container for the burn barrel. But just because I said that there wasn't rust, doesn't mean that there isn't debris. And this is not. That just looks like an old toilet. Ooh. And that looks like what people put into an old toilet. Gas ain't supposed to be yellow. And the bottom's not supposed to look like that either. Well, I can see why it didn't work. So, I gotta get this out of here and clean this up some. Well, here's what we got. I got the old gas out into a decent container. This is your old fuel pump, and the bottom is so caked up that there probably wasn't anything getting through it. This is the new fuel pump. It all matters, and of course they don't hook this up, but that will basically just go like right there. Well, snap that in, and this has a bigger sock on it. But there's stuff in the bottom of this fuel tank that is just scary. It's like, oops. It's like yellow. If you ever dealt with the old yellow 3M adhesive, what we used to call gorilla snot, or what I used to call gorilla snot, elephant snot, whatever, that's kind of what it is in the bottom of this tank, just stuck. So I'm trying to clean out the inside of this tank right now. Then I'll probably do some simple green or purple power or something on the outside of it to clean it all up before I stick it back in there. But I got enough to make this work, so we will make it happen. Plus there was a whole bunch of stickers and off-road junk up there, so yeah, this needs some cleanup, but we'll get there. I'm probably going to let it sit open for a day. It's getting later in the day, and I'll probably get at it tomorrow for a little bit longer after it has had a chance to air out and evaporate, because it is still almost 100 degrees here in Arizona, even though it is in the third week of October. So it'll evaporate out after I get most of the water out of it. Well, I'll be honest, I was actually able to get this all cleaned out. Pretty darn good and dry. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this fuel pump in while I got a little light. And who knows? We'll see how far I get. So that goes to the inside of that hole. This is not a good sign. Okay, that's what this does. It's spring loaded, and these tabs rest against the bottom of the tank, and that leaves that enough. That's kind of ingenious. And that was not ingenious. All right. So we'll get that back in there. We will face this, I think, the direction it's supposed to go. Well, there's an arrow, and I bet that arrow means that it's supposed to go right between those two little notches right there. Try and pull that out. There we go. That doesn't screw on near as easy as you would think it would, should. Well, that does not go on well. I've got some Go Juice behind me, and I'm slowly getting this collar on and trying to make sure that it's tight, it doesn't come unthreaded, because it was bare yesterday to do this. And what I'm going to do here in a minute is get this all lined up. I'm going to put the clip on it. I'm going to slide this up underneath. Well, actually, I'm going to put a couple gallons of gas in it. Slide it up underneath, get all of the connections hooked up to it. And then I'm going to try to fire it up and actually see if it'll run on gas for a while. Obviously, we're not going to go anywhere because they'd be dragging the tank behind me, and I'm not going to do it until I get the hoses put on. The main one's on its way. This other one, I may have to get creative on that. Anyway, let me go. Let me go get the blue clip that I need to put all this together. So, see you in a minute. You would think that if they charge you all that money for a fuel pump, that they would give you the blue clip to hook it up to the line. But no, they did not. So I had to make sure that I got it off of it in one piece. Let me go ahead and make this more difficult. I'm going to go ahead and put this on end and dump a couple gallons of Go Juice in it. this isn't going to know what to do with having good gas in it as I don't pour it in there. I definitely want to make sure that there's enough on the bottom of the tank so that the fuel pump will suck this up. A couple gallons should do it. I've got 3 gallons in the jerry can here, but I'm not going to use all of it. And I know you guys can't see me for the jerry can, but you can see me spilling the gas all over the darn place. I'll save a little bit out to prime different vehicles. This being fuel injected should not need priming. And I know it'll run if once gas is up in the system. All right, that should be enough. Well, I got the vent tube on, and I'm going to plug that in because I got enough room there. But I'm going to have to put the tank up on a brick, it looks like, because those are not going to reach. Well, that just kind of sucks. Let me go plug this in and get a brick, and we'll figure it out. Well, this is just a safety first moment. So it's all, in theory, hooked up in here. So we're going to go put a Honda battery in it. It's got enough cranking amps. One interesting thing is that this has a switch to let you know that there's, and I don't know what that goes to, if it's actually a cutoff. I do know there's a wire under it. I do know that it's supposed to be there to let you know that your battery has fallen out, which shouldn't happen unless you flip over, and then, to be honest, that's not something that you're really worried about when you're on your lid. And they did a little modification on this to put the extra size battery in it by cracking off the side of it. Or they just didn't put a battery hold down on it, and it slammed off to the side and just broke it out. So I'm going to have to replace that at some point. Probably not. If I find one, maybe. Let's go ahead and get the other battery in. Well, I don't see a huge puddle down there. That's a start. Nor do I see a huge puddle up here. But I can't really hear the yeah, it says low gas. And oh, promise. Well, there you go. Oh, sweet. So it's running under its own power, on its own fuel. Well, that's a serious bonus. And I don't hear the motor clattering. That's also a bonus. Wasn't a huge cloud of smoke. Seems solid. The ABS light's on. That's never cheap. But it does have brakes. Oil pressure's good. It is charging. I don't know how soon it'll go through like 3 gallons of gas, but trip meter works on it. Wonder why the ABS is. Ah, well. Let's hopefully not go anywhere. That's reverse. And the transmission works. Wow. It sounds good. It sounds real good. I can smell it now. All right, let me shut it off, put some coolant in it, and I'm going to let it run for a while. Well, we're just going to put some tap water in it for right now, because I'm going to flush all of this out before it gets roadworthy. Put some good coolant in it. But I didn't see anything in there. I do want to run this long enough to see if the thermostat's going to open and see if it overheats. That would be nice to have at least one of the Pound Puppy vehicles. Well, what the? Where is that coming from? Are you kidding me? Well, As you can see by the puddle, that's not good. As you can see by that pile, that's even worse. The bottom radiator hose wasn't hooked up, and there's just chunks of stuff coming out of here, like parts of the spring. And so, I mean, I'm going to hook it back up, but I'm definitely going to have to replace that radiator hose and fluid and everything. Great. And this has the channel lock style, not the screw type, so I'll have to get that on. All right, let me get that on. Okay, we're going to try this again. Pour some water in it, hopefully not wash my feet. I have the hose on, kind of. But before I want to take this out on the road, I want to replace that hose and those clamps. Those Joseph clamps are hard to deal with. Well, there's no doubt that it was bone dry. I started it up and we're going to keep adding water. See if it overheats or boils up or something. What I'd rather see is water flowing in here and know that the thermostat works. That would be great. Alright, well, it's kind of at the top. It's a little in the overflow, which is broken. I should probably speak up so you can hear me over the engine. Get some up in the thermostat area. Let's go take a look and see what it says on the inside. It runs great. Well, the temperature gauge is working. It's starting to come up. I mean, we're still, at least I'm charging my battery. That's a good start. And yeah, I know you're low on fuel. I really would like to know if the gas gauge is working, but with only probably about 2 gallons in it, it may not be. I'd really like to find out if it's working before I put it up in there. That's smooth though. That's really, really smooth. And no check engine lights. So if all I have to worry about is the ABS light, that's great. All right, well, temperature is up to operating temp. I heard something just clack. That's not hot though yet, but it's definitely bubbling. There we go. That means my thermostat's working. Well, let's kind of see what works in this, and then I can think about starting to put stuff together again. Left turn signal works, right turn signal works. Blinks fast, which means that it's got no blinker somewhere. Headlights appear to work. Those dome lights work. And actually go out. That part's good. Still don't have any, I mean, this shuts down. Oh, and that part works, but they're supposed to be, I'm gonna have to get into this because that's supposed to work and it doesn't. And according to the owner's manual, that's not even close to what's supposed to be in it. So right now, this does not, it's loose, but it doesn't open. So I'm gonna have to dig into that. Electronicals, I hate it. And I have no idea what that was supposed to be for. They don't work. in the back. No blower. Oh, yes it does. Alright, do I have AC? That would be crazy. Doesn't seem like it. I guess maybe if I turn that on, hit that switch, listen if the, okay, well the compressor kicks in. So it may just be low. A little R134 and we'll see. It's defrost. Okay, that I think is for the windshield washer, which would be weird. That too. Oh, I bet it's for the back. Okay. Well, it's good news, but I still got a ways to go before I can drive it. Now, one of the cool things is that at an auction, which is what I'm doing when I'm not doing vehicles, I have a Hypertech for this. So it'll be interesting to see how much of a difference it makes once I get it to operating temperature, but this sounds really good. It's still running at about 205 right now, but it's got nothing running through it, and I'm not even sure it has enough water in it, but it's leaking out, so power steering's making noise. That's going to do it for this episode. I've done enough for today. If you haven't already done so, please like, subscribe, follow me here and on Facebook, and we will see you on the next adventure. Bye now.